That's it, yeah. Oh, yes, okay, yep. Yeah, okay, let's do that. And then we have the other Sue Charlene. There might be a little. Oh, yeah. Golden Rod on it? Yes, yeah. Okay. I play the response. Yeah. Yeah. I just have the response. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the receiver. That was for cleaning up the gift baskets, right? Right. That's what that was. And then, okay. All right, so, you know, let's do it. All right. All right. Oh, and then we'll do it twice? Okay, all right, and then we do the cell. Yeah, okay. So that'll be the first one that we'll do. Yeah. It's only been a year since we've done it. Okay, yeah. All right, let's do that.
Chag Sameach. For those that don't know, one of the proper greetings for Sukkot is Chag Sameach. So let's try that together. Chag Sameach. We have a wonderful group here tonight in our sanctuary. I know that many of those in the Jewish community have holiday fatigue. We've been sitting in these seats a lot over the last 10 days, so it's wonderful to have those of you that came tonight to be with us here with us. We also have representatives from a group that Bet Shalom, our congregation's been participating with over the last month and a half or so, called the Tri-Faith Initiative. So we have members of the Wayzata Community Church with Reverend Kristen Jaidi. We also have Father Jason Lucas, who's here from the St. Edward's Episcopal Church. We also have Harriet Cohn, who is representing Adat Yeshurun. It's nice to have you with us here. We're also participating along with the Northwest Islamic Center, but I'm not sure if anybody has arrived from their group yet. We have been visiting each other's congregations, and tonight was our night to invite them to join us. So we're so happy for you to be with us. I will tell you at the beginning that this is a very unique and creative service, something that we created here at Bet Shalom with Rabbi Cohn over a number of years, and so I don't think that you'll see anything else like this in the Twin Cities. It really takes us back to a time that we'll hear about when the cantor chants from the Torah for us in a little while. But I wanted to just share with you the couple of verses from the Torah that talk about this first night of Sukkot. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "On the 15th day of the 7th month there shall be a feast of booths to Adonai to last 7 days. The first day shall be a sacred occasion. You shall not work at your occupations. 7 days you shall bring offerings to the Lord." This is what this is. This is Sukkot, the holiday of Sukkot. It is one of 3 holidays that are called the pilgrimage festivals, and that's because in ancient days it was on this holiday as well as Passover and Shavuot that we would literally pilgrimage to Jerusalem and offer our offerings in the temple. This holiday, Sukkot, took such a great significance in the commentaries that it was simply called Hechag, the holiday. And for me, perhaps the greatest part of this holiday are the wonderful symbols that go with it. The sukkah, the tabernacle that you probably saw when you were walking into the building that we invite everybody to visit later. It's a time for us to reconnect with our agrarian roots from the time that our ancestors were farmers and they needed those sukkot to be out in the fields so that they could sleep in the fields and gather in the fruits of this harvest and then offer the first of them at the temple. It's also a chance for us to reconnect with some of the special species that are listed in the Torah, and Rabbi Crimmings will share some of those with us through a wonderful ritual that we'll do later on. So we invite you to participate, and we invite you to, when the time comes, to bring your fruits up to the bima, and then afterwards, those that are interested, especially our guests, will have some time to answer questions and to talk a little bit. So with that, we are going to begin our service, led by Rabbi Crimmings and the cantor.
We're going to begin our service with a special reading for Sukkot, which you can find in your prayer book on page 125. And on this page, there are special readings for the different festivals, and we'll be reading the one in the middle that is special for Sukkot. So please join me in reading together.
And our prayer books start from right to left, in case you're looking for page numbers.
Thank you. Let's read together. Tonight, let our shelters be strung with the finest fruits of creation: love, fertility, prosperity, wisdom. Let us promise to feed the hungry. Let our harvest bring peace. We'll turn to page 130 and rise for the Baruch Hu.
Lai, la, lai, 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 lai. Yai, la, lai, 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 lai. Yai, la, lai, 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 lai. Yai, la, lai, 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 lai. Yai, la, lai, 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 lai. Yai, la, lai, 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 lai. Yai, la, lai, 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 lai. Yai, la, lai, ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever.
Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
We'll turn to page 133, where we have another special reading for Sukkot. Please join me in reading together. The colors of early evening sky blend and deepen, allowing new lights to be seen, twinkling through the branches, the promise that in darkness new light will be revealed. Let's turn to page 136 for Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. We're going to turn in our prayer book to page 219, and tonight we will be doing a special alternative reading for our tefillah prayer, and we'll be reading this prayer responsively. Let standing corn grow ripe as dewdrops bring their blessing, food for the hungry, healing for the sick.
Let the bare vines be draped with grape blossoms as the heavens yield their dew.
Let oasis drip with plenty and hills be draped in gladness, dressed with flowers in the colors of spring.
Singing your great goodness as the heavens yield their dew.
Let the trees God made be fed on valley and hill, the granaries be filled with grain, the vats with wine and oil.
Let every village be joyous and safe as the heavens yield their dew.
Let those who spend themselves in the study of our faith shine bright as stars.
You feed the hungry soul, the dry and empty heart, and fill it with delight as the heavens yield their dew.
Send your sweet breeze to renew our life, restore its ancient glory, the land of our heritage.
You who are good to all, let the time of redemption come and renew our life.
Our God and God of our ancestors, as dew descends,
let light illumine the earth, let blessing restore the earth. Let joy and gladness abound on the earth, let song resound on the earth, and with goodness and sustenance deliver us on earth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Yisrael v'hazmanim.
And we turn in our prayer books now to page 233, where you will find the words to Al Shlosha Devarim, the melody that we will sing as we take the sacred Torah scrolls from the Ark and bring them through the congregation on Hakafah. Page 233.
Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha, Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam, Ha'olam Omed. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha, Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam, Ha'olam Omed. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagei haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, 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 v'tagei haaretz. Yirap hayam, Yirap hayam umelo. Yirap hayam, Yirap hayam, Yirap hayam umelo. Yirap hayam, Yirap hayam, Yirap hayam umelo. Yirap hayam, Yirap hayam, Yirap hayam umelo. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, v'tagei haaretz.
I mentioned before that we have that beautiful sukkah that is out and just outside our entrance, and I just wanted to mention a few people who make that possible every year. Bob Howard, where's Bob? There you go. He's got his hand up in the air. And Stan Alexander, Stan's right there. And I know that there are a number of others, Mike and Dale, and I'm sure there are others, Mike Cummings as well, helped put it together. And so we're so grateful to you for making sure that we have that as part of our celebration. Cantor is going to be reading from the Torah for us, the passage that talks about what we are doing tonight. In ancient days, there were many offerings that were made to the priests, the Kohanim, in the tabernacle in the desert, and then later in the temple in Jerusalem. And when the temple was destroyed in 70 of the Common Era, that whole system was replaced with prayer. And so usually our offerings are with the words of our mouth, but we thought here at Bet Shalom it would be fun to make actual offerings, and therefore we have the idea of baskets of fruit, gaily decorated, that we can offer and that will go to the ICA. And that is the passage that the cantor will be chanting for us tonight, which you can find in the Torah commentary on page 1508, 1508. It's the only book that you can find nearby that has that many pages in it. 1508, and she's going to be chanting from verse 1, so you can follow along in the English as she chants from the Hebrew.
Blessing is on page 245, and let's all do it together. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Amvarach Leolam Vaed.
ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai, noten haTorah. V'haya ki tavo el haaretz, asher Adonai Elohecha, noten lecha nachala, v'rishta v'yashavta ba, v'lakachta mereshit, kol peri ha'adama, asher tavi me'artzecha, asher Adonai Elohecha, noten lach, v'samta v'atena, v'halachta el hamakom, asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha, l'shaken shemo sham. Uvata el hakohen, asher yihyeh bayamim hahen, v'amarta elav, v'higadti hayom l'Adonai Elohecha, kivati el haaretz, asher nishba Adonai la'avotenu latet lanu. Should we do the blessing after together? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Mishaberach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivorech et ha'chazan Sarah. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless our cantor Lipset Allison, who has blessed us with the words of Torah. May she be blessed with health, happiness, joy, and peace, as together we all say, Amen. And with the Torah still open before us, we ask for God's blessing and a Misha Berach on those who need healing of body and soul. And on this Chag Sukkot, we think of Casey Carter, Paula Plotkin, Sue Weber, Nick Swenson, Toby Shear, Patrick Garbrick, Linda Pinsky Griffiths, Ellen Greenberg, Sandra Bressler, Richard Smith, Marilyn Serber, Mitchell Swaden, Seth Kaplan Turner, Chris Oldenburg, Eileen Pachersky, Megan Dixon, Miriam Spillman, Rudy Keimowitz, Dennis Wolf, Bobby Wigglesworth, Leah LaCroix, Pat Goman, Harold Devine, Bob Katroser, Dan Juster, Sharon Thal, Shirley Levine, Pesach Ben Hillel Vasara, Ruth Weinblatt, Jim Landy, Linda Lindholm, Earl Wehoff, Mark Van Note, Todd Conversano, Rabbi Lynn Landsberg, Ted Richter, Sigmund Stern, Melvin Lebowitz, Sylvia Topper, Emily Lazier, Bob Edelson, Shirley Thomas, John Trachtenberg, Jeanette Rubini, Sarah Batmelech Uvela, Liz Leiter, Naomi Reyna, Lenny Leader, Beverly Stern. And we think of Nadav Vinesh, who is serving in Israel's Defense Forces, the IDF. We pray for his well-being. There are others to include in our Misha Berach for healing, either of body or soul, or for protection. I invite you to add their names when I look your way. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh Cholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who brings healing to the sick. Our Misha Berach prayer can be found on page 247 in the prayer book. Misheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Me'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor ha'baracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We turn back one page to 246 for the Vizot HaTorah words that you can find there as we rise to lift and dress the Torah.
Vizot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
And now, as we have read that passage from the Torah that commanded our ancestors to bring the fruits of their harvest to the priests and to the Levites in the temple, we are no longer commanded to do so for the priests and Levites, but we feel commanded to do so for those who are needy in our community. And so we will begin the ceremony of presenting fruits and vegetables here on the pulpit. They will be delivered tomorrow to the ICA, where I know many people will appreciate them. So as the beautiful music is played, we'll ask you to just slowly make your way forward. Maybe we'll start at the front and you can choose your time so that we don't create a traffic jam, but we'll take a few moments to bring our fruits forward. So we don't normally take pictures during services, but I would like to ask that if you do have a camera on your phone, you take it out and you take a picture of all of this beautiful fruit and vegetables. All right, we're going to finish up here. Rabbi.
One of the special traditions that we have during Sukkot is shaking what is called the lulav. And even though we call it shaking the lulav, there are actually 4 different species that make up the lulav. And you can see here there are 3 of the 4. We have the lulav, which is this tall palm branch. And then we also have a willow and a myrtle, willow and myrtle branch. And then in addition to that, the 4th species is called an etrog. And we are commanded to gather these 4 species together and to shake them in every direction during the festival of Sukkot. There are a number of reasons for this tradition and also a number of reasons why we think that these species are significant. One of the ones that I love is that each species represents a different part of our body that encourages us to relate to God with our full selves, not just with our minds. So the etrog represents our heart. The palm lulav branch represents our spine. The myrtle represents our lips, and the myrtle, or the willow, represents our eyes. And so in all of these ways where our full bodies connect to God, we also, in shaking the lulav, we do so in a way that acknowledges that God is not only above us, but that God is everywhere. And so we shake the lulav in every direction, starting with east, and then we shake it in every direction around, and then also up and down, so in 6 different directions. We have blessings that we say before we shake the lulav, which you can find in your prayer book on page 307. So if you turn to 307, we can recite the blessings together, and then we will go ahead and shake the lulav. Hoshiena et amecha uvorech et nachalatecha. Together in English. Deliver and bless your very own people. Tend them and sustain them forever. Rejoice in your festival, and you shall have nothing but joy. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al nitilat lulav. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to take up the lulav. And we'll also recite Shehachianu, as this is the first night of shaking the lulav. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, Shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who has kept us alive, sustained us, and brought us to this season. We're going to turn back to page 294 for Hodu la'Adonai ki tov, which are words that we often speak when we are shaking the lulav.
So this is responsive. So I'm going to do one part, and you answer me. We'll try it. Hodu l'Adonai ki tov. This is your part.
Ki le'olam chasto.
Yomar na Yisrael. Same part.
Ki le'olam chasto.
Yomaru na Veit Aharon. Ki le'olam go up. Yomaru na Yirei Adonai. Ki le'olam
chasto.
Modu l'Adonai ki tov.
Ki le'olam chasto.
Yomar na Yisrael.
Ki le'olam chasto.
I can't do both at the same time. So you said east first.
East.
Cantor just admitted to me that she couldn't sing and shake a lulav at the same time.
It's like chewing gum.
We will make this available for anybody who would like to try it out. We'll have it here on the bima after the service, and then we will help it find its way out to the sukkah so that when you fulfill the mitzvah of going out to the sukkah, you can do them both at the same time. Let's turn in our prayer book to page 323 and rise for Aleinu. Let us adore
The ever-living God.
the ever-living God
And render praise.
and render praise
Unto you.
unto you
Who spread out the heavens.
who spread out the
And
heavens
established the earth.
and established the earth
And whose glory.
and whose
Is
glory
revealed in the heavens above.
in the heavens above
And whose greatness.
and whose greatness
is
is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. Va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. As we prepare to join together in the words of Mourner's Kaddish, Kadisha Tome on page 334. We think of those who have died in recent days, in the past 30 days, whose Shloshim we are observing. Fega Bat Hirsch, Ava Landis, Shimon Perez, Sylvia Presley, Adam Greenberg, Shirley Shore Lynn, Marilyn Cherak, Sam Yarosh. And on this first day of Sukkot, we recall for a blessing those whose yahrzeits occur today, tonight, and tomorrow. Mark Bateman, Izo Engel, Lily Maltz, Ida Raskin, Leonard Rosenbaum. We think, too, of the millions of our people who perished in the Holocaust, many of whom have only us to say Kaddish for them today. If there are others whom you honor with the words of Mourner's Kaddish, either for Shloshim or for Yartzeit, on this first day of Sukkot, I invite you to add their names when I look your way. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. Let's join together on page 334 Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon, v'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kodashah barichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We are going to turn to our closing song, Turn, 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 on page 400 in the prayer book. After we complete the singing of that song together, we will enter into the social hall and everybody will have a chance to get a bite to eat. We invite you to go out to the Sukkot and to experience being outside, reconnecting with nature on this beautiful fall night. You'll notice that it is a full moon. It's the 15th day of the Hebrew month, and that's when the moon is full. And so it is a wonderful way to celebrate outside, just taking note of the light that comes through the aspects of the sukkah while you're standing out there. Those of you that are here from our Tri-Faith partners, after you've had a chance to get something to eat and to have some conversation with our members, in 15 or 20 minutes, we'll take an opportunity to answer any questions that you have sitting over at the tables. And thank you all for being here. Turn, turn, turn.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to love, a time to weep. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time of love, a time of hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late.
and a time for every purpose under heaven. We return to the greeting with which we began, Chag Sameach. We can turn to each other and say, Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.